Hey everyone, how we doing today? Happy Tuesday. How are we doing, ladies? For all of the challengers, we are on day 9 of the challenge. We are almost at our halfway point, which is amazing. Last night we had our second call, our check-in call. So for those of you that attended the call last night, thank you so much for attending. For those of you that were not able, that are part of the challenge and you were not able to make the call last night, please check your email, because I did send out the replay to that in the email that you would have received this morning. So every morning, if you're part of the challenge, we have an email. I have an email that's going out at 9 a.m. Just giving you some helpful tips, some motivation. I might include some extra information in there, some maybe recordings of some live webinars and master classes that I've done here within the Facebook group, just to give you guys some extra information. So please be sure to watch that. Good afternoon. Hi, who is that that's joining me? Because all I see is iPhone. So I'm not really sure who's joining me. Who is it? If you could just pop your name in the comment section, that would be great. And Denise. Okay, hey Denise. All right, and for everyone else, I'm just gonna pin myself here. I am going to just make sure. Okay, perfect. Yeah, you guys can see me. Okay, let me just check on here. Hey, Fiorella, how's it going? Hi, Elia. Thank you guys for joining me today. So today we are going to be talking about fasting. Okay, this is a really huge buzzword that's going on right now. A lot of people are trying to do this, which is fast, in order to lose weight. I think it's appealing to a lot of people because it's just like, oh, okay, well, I'm only going to eat within a certain window. But I wanted to talk to you guys about whether you actually need to fast to lose weight. And that's going to be the topic of our discussion today. So I am actually heading out to Florida I got to leave in about a few hours. And this is probably the first time that I have packed last minute like this. I've never packed last minute like that before. Can you guys see me? Okay, I just want to make sure that you guys can see me. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so this is the first time that I've ever packed last minute. I'm literally going to be packing like a half an hour before I need to leave. I hope I don't forget anything, but I am normally not a last minute person like this. However, things have been really crazy, been really busy with the challenge. We have so many people in the challenge, and I had a wedding on the weekend, lots of busy stuff happening. So let's talk about this, ladies. Let's talk about whether fasting is required in order for you to lose weight. How many of you here that are on the call here right now, have any of you tried fasting or have tried this in order to lose weight? If you have, just pop up, yes, me, I've tried fasting before. If you have, let me know. Did you like it? Were you successful with it? What was kind of your experience with the fasting? Let me know in the comment section. So there's various different ways to fast. There's like, people will do a window, either they're eating for 8 hours, the rest of the time they're not. So a lot of, while fasting can help some people achieve a calorie deficit, it's really not even necessarily the best way for everyone, especially for women going through menopause, to use this as a way to lose weight. So why does fasting work for a lot of people? It works because essentially it might put you into a calorie deficit. So it may put you in a calorie deficit. So yes, a calorie deficit is required for fat loss, provided that your body is ready to go into a fat loss phase. I talked about this last night in the call. If you've already been eating in a calorie deficit for a long period of time, then you need to do a little work at restoring your metabolism before you can go back into a calorie deficit. But let's just say your metabolic health is good. Yeah. Oh, if Fiorella tried it, short-term success. Elia, yes, I have. Yes, hungry all day, not really effective for me. Yeah. And we're going to talk about that, the hunger that comes along with it. So if your metabolic health is good, meaning that you haven't been dieting for a long period of time, you're eating at maintenance calories or above maintenance calories, and your metabolic health is pretty good, then your body may be ready to go in a fat loss phase, which at that point, what would be required is a calorie deficit. So let me explain what a calorie deficit is. It means basically that you're consuming fewer calories than what your body needs. So in other words, if you eat 2,000 calories a day, but and your body requires 2,500 calories a day to maintain that, all of its metabolic processes, daily activities, exercise, then you have to, that would be a 500 calorie deficit for you. So over time, this deficit can lead to weight loss, since the body will start to tap into stored fat for energy. Okay, so that's how it works. And just so you guys have an understanding of what a calorie deficit is. Everybody that's watching, is that clear to you? Does that make sense to you what a calorie deficit is? So this is actually why, if you have been dieting for a long period of time, why a calorie deficit wouldn't work for you. So if you have already been eating at like 1,500 or 1,200 calories for a long period of time, trying to eat that continuously, like your body will become metabolically adapted to it because you've created that 1,200 calorie metabolism. So like I talked about last night and various other times as well too, a lot of the work that we do with our clients in the beginning is that we actually need to restore their metabolism, bring their metabolism up to a healthy point, not a 1,200 calorie metabolism, maybe they need an 1,800 or a 2,000 calorie metabolism. So we take that time rebuilding back up their metabolism before we can help them go into a fat loss phase. But with that being said, fasting and a calorie deficit. So fasting can create a calorie deficit. So what happens is, let's just say, you normally eat 2,500 calories a day. Now you're eliminating, now you're eliminating an entire meal that may be worth 500 calories. So now that's why a lot of people see success with that. However, over time, what we tend to see happen is that people get really hungry. Okay. So if you're not managing the amount of calories that you're eating within that 8-hour feeding window or 6-hour feeding window, you may be eating more and you're no longer in a calorie deficit anymore. So why, fasting, I'm not a fan of fasting for this reason, because you're not really accurately measuring like how many calories you're actually consuming. I think initially it might work really well because people are eliminating a meal from their day, but then eventually it can backfire on them because eventually, like as Fiorella mentioned here, like she was really hungry all day long. So what happened? This is what happens when we try to maybe skip meals. It's the same thing that happens when we try to like not have breakfast and skip meals so that you can save some of your calories to lose weight. What happens when we get home? A lot of times, I know I used to do this. I'd get home and I would like swing open the cupboard doors and just start shoving food in my mouth. And because I was so hungry, because your body's hungry, your body's telling you we need energy. You start craving a lot of sweets because your body needs energy. So this is why I'm not really a huge fan of doing this. Also, if you are a woman that is in perimenopause or menopause, fasting can be especially challenging and potentially very not good for you. Cortisol and stress. So cortisol, often called the stress hormone, tends to be higher in the morning for women, for everyone. It is higher in the morning. So when we are going through perimenopause and menopause, we are highly sensitive to stress during this time period. Okay. So being like starting your morning without breakfast can also continue to increase those cortisol levels. So we want to, if you're a woman in perimenopause or menopause, you want to make sure you're having a breakfast that has protein and also some carbohydrates, because the carbohydrates will also actually help decrease those cortisol levels in the morning. And when we are women going through perimenopause and menopause, where we're very highly sensitive to stress, we don't want to add any additional stress that can make our menopausal symptoms even, a little bit more worse. We want to be managing stress as best as possible during this time frame. So this type of approach to nutrition is not really ideal, especially if you're a woman during perimenopause and menopause. The other thing too, going long hours without food can also be very stressful for the body. For many, eating frequent small meals can help stabilize blood sugar levels throughout the day, which it does. It provides you the sustained energy, and it can prevent those intense hunger that happens when when you're going hours without eating, those intense hunger can lead to overeating later on. Fiorella, if you're still watching, did that happen with you? Like when you were hungry, really hungry, did you find yourself like just ravenous when you came home in terms of like wanting to eat a whole bunch of food? Just curious if that happened to you, or if anybody that's watching here today, like, have you ever tried fasting and noticed that, you're super, super hungry when you get home afterwards? Just let me know if that's something that you've experienced. So again, another reason why I'm not a fan, these are the top reasons why I'm not a fan of using fasting as a way for weight loss. We want to have frequent meals throughout the day, like every 3 to 4 hours, constantly fueling our bodies. We want to make sure that we're having protein with every single meal. So the protein will help us feel full. It'll help us feel satiated. It'll help boost insulin levels as well too. It'll help manage insulin levels and blood sugar levels. And also, it'll also help you with preventing lean muscle mass loss. And if you're strength training, you want the protein in your diet so that you can at least build lean muscle mass. Okay. So the best approach is to, yes, if your body is ready for fat loss, like I talked about earlier, if your metabolic health is good, then you could go into a calorie deficit where you're eating less calories than what your body requires, because your body will be responsive to that. But we want to make sure that we're having enough protein with every single meal. And that we're also having, smaller frequent meals, like 3 to 4 hours, like I talked about earlier. And we want a balanced diet. So apart from protein, we want to make sure that we're having carbohydrates. Again, lady, if you are a woman during perimenopause and menopause, carbohydrates are your best friend. They help you, give you the energy that you need, and also will help you with lowering cortisol levels. So we want to make sure that we're also having enough carbohydrates and also enough healthy fats, enough fiber in our diets as well too. The fiber will keep you full as well throughout a calorie deficit. So in conclusion, fasting can be effective for some, but it's really not the best effective way for weight loss. You can manage your calorie deficit and eat more frequently throughout the day when your body wants to be fed, and avoid, increased extreme hunger cues that will only lead to binge eating and overeating later on. And like we talked about earlier, especially if you're a woman through perimenopause and menopause, this is not exactly what you want to be doing during this time of your life, because it can make things actually worse for you in terms of increasing your stress levels. When you are in perimenopause and menopause, you want to be decreasing your stress levels as much as possible. Okay, so any questions, lady? Do we have any questions about fasting? And, have you thought about doing fasting at all as a way to lose weight? I know some of you have tried it, not really affected, didn't like it. has anybody been really successful with fasting? I know Sue, she's a client, somebody in within the group as well too, that she's had success, but now she's finally plateaued. And she's taking, won't do it again, menopause state. Yeah, you definitely, if you're a menopause, Elia, which you are, you do not want to be going into menopause. I think who joined us right now? It says Sue. Sue, which Sue is this?
Hey, it's Sue
Oh,
Salvatore.
It is you, Sue. Okay, I was just talking about you.
Oh, hey.
I'm finishing up though. I'm wrapping up because I started at 12. I just did a short thing about fasting because I was saying fasting has worked for some people because you did do it, right?
Yes, for many years.
But then now you're not doing it anymore.
I'm kind of limiting how much I'm doing it. I'm not doing it as in depth as I used to. I'm opening up or trying to open up my fasting window and getting calories in to try to reset my metabolism a little higher than where it's right at now.
Good. And it's a slow progress because you went a 4-hour feeding window, right? That's
even 22 hours on certain days. I know.
I don't know how I'm hungry. I'm always hungry. The minute I wake up, I'm like, give me food. So what's your window now? What did you open up your window to now?
I'm trying to do, I'm kind of going based on how I'm feeling and what energy needs are, like what I'm feeling energy draws are. So I'm focusing on a 16-8, but on some days, if I need to open it up to a 14-10, I'm trying to be as flexible and learning to kind of listen to my body a little bit.
Good. Yeah, I think that's important, especially if you're in perimenopause and menopause. Like I talked to you, you're early, like this could be really stressful on your body, right? Yeah. And during this phase in our lives, managing the stress is the most important thing that you need to be doing. So, when cortisol levels are naturally higher in the morning, we want to have a feeding first thing in the morning because that will help bring down those cortisol levels, right? And if we can manage those cortisol levels, my experience with working with clients is that when we're managing cortisol levels and stress, their perimenopause, like their menopause symptoms, like the hot flashes, the mood swings, the extremely low energy levels and all of that all improves. And then when we see stress levels go up, those symptoms get worse. So there is a really direct correlation when we're in this phase in our lives to be managing the stress as much as possible. And the nutrition and how we feed our bodies plays a significant role in how we're impacting stress, additional stress to our bodies as well too. So are you eating breakfast?
Yes, you'd be very, very, very proud of me. I've been away traveling, so this was kind of like an opportunity to wipe the slate clean. So I made sure I got 2 very nutritious meals in with a healthy snack. And that's big for me because I never used to have like a healthy breakfast. I would kind of just go and then feed. And I was able to climb mountains and do all kinds of stuff.
So how did you feel? Did you notice a difference?
I noticed that my energy didn't slump in the afternoon. And if perchance it did, because I was particularly active, then I would have a handful of nuts or like an apple to kind of satiate that until my next feed. So, and then just healthy options in between. So it's good. And that's a big thing for me because when you do the fasting and you're in doing that avoidance, it's very hard to get that food in when you're not hungry. So it's like you're having to swallow it down and retrain your thinking at the same time. So it was a challenge, but I did it.
Well, it'll take time because you've done that for a while, but these are huge wins and huge improvements that you're making. So congrats on that. Keep focusing on having that first meal in the morning. I think you'll see huge changes in terms of how your metabolism is going to react throughout the rest of the day as well too. You might also notice by having that first meal that you will be more hungry throughout the day as well too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that might be a good approach for you. It's what I would recommend to help you get more food and, and start listening to your body. If your energy levels are low, like think about, did I feed myself? Have I, nourished my body with what it needs? Because more often than not, I'm a nutrition coach. So I know the direct correlation of what we're feeding ourselves, how it impacts our overall health and how we feel and how we perform. But, now also being aware personally of yourself of like, how am I feeling with this meal now? I have a lot more energy. I'm not so sluggish in the afternoon. And then that might also actually help you open up your window, like helping you eat more throughout the day, because you're kind of like waking up your metabolism first thing in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can report that even with the increased snack and meal, no weight gain. So
awesome. And you bumped your calories from what to what?
Well, I probably added an additional breakfast was probably about 400 to 500 calories.
Perfect.
So just a little bit more. And then the rest was just like a healthy, balanced meal in the evening with my snack. So I'm pretty sure I did not exceed what my kind of target should be that I'm kind of calculating based on my resting metabolic rate.
Yeah,
I'm trying not to exceed it, because when I do add the physical activity on top of that, like a workout, I kind of have a rough idea of how many calories are burning. I know that the apps and stuff are not perfect.
Yeah.
But, in your mind, you kind of are gauging, okay, I did this, so, this is not going to over or undercut my goal.
Yeah, just do like the calculation that I told you based on your activity level, because you're training 4 to 5 days a week, right? You're training? Yeah. Okay. So, you're probably, and the way you can measure that is like, if you're not gaining weight, that's a great sign. And if you can push to add another extra 100 calories to it, because that's the beauty. If you can eat more food and fuel your body so that you can build lean muscle mass, then, why not? Right?
Yeah.
Like if you're eating, why not? Like if you
thing.
I know, but you have to understand, the more muscle we have on our body, the more calories our body will burn at rest. You're creating a fat burning machine. You're creating a metabolism that's working properly. So some of our clients that have a lot of lean muscle on them, and they might be like 130 pounds, they can manage 19 to 2,000 calories a day. Why? Because that's what their body actually needs. Muscle is a very expensive tissue. So for your body to run muscle on your body, it needs a lot of calories. So that's why, you want to be strength training. So you not only will it help you build a beautiful physique, but you also get to eat more food at the end of it, because your body can handle those calories.
So if I'm looking, like, I don't know if anybody else tracks this as well at their resting kind of metabolic rate. I've already noticed that I went from, say, 1900, and my last two have come in at about 2000. So it's slowly inching up.
Yeah. So that could be because you're gaining lean muscle mass. Okay. So that's a good thing. Right. Okay. And that's what we want to see, is that your metabolic rate, that your body can handle more calories at rest. And the only way that you could do that is by lifting weights.
Yeah.
And that's the only way you could do that. So by lifting weights, you're building more lean muscle mass. And now you can eat more, you can handle more calories. So I would also suggest try and push a little bit more. See if you can put another 100 calories in there, making sure that you're always eating enough protein. That is the key. Like make sure you're hitting your protein goals, add in another extra 100 calories in there and try to push. Now, if you're adding an extra 100 calories and your weight is still maintaining, you're not, you're not hungry or anything, like try and add another extra 100 calories. Because the more muscle you put on your body, the more, calories your body will burn at rest. So that is my suggestion for you. is keep doing that. I'll check over here if anybody else has any questions that's watching. Does anybody else have any questions? No? Okay, well, thanks everybody for, I have 5 participants in here. Oh, Anna Mello, but I don't know why she's in here. I'm gonna have to remove her. Anyways, okay, guys, I am off. I gotta go to Florida. So I gotta pack and then I gotta go to Florida. I gotta be out of my house by 2:30. So I have 2 hours.
Good luck. I just got back. So well,
from
Hawaii.
Florida?
No, I went to Hawaii.
Oh my
So
God,
I'm
Hawaii.
like jet lagged and I'm just meal prepping today. So
oh, well, welcome back. I'm sure you want to be back in Hawaii.
I also would be going again in 2 weeks down to Florida. So we have a place down
beautiful.
there. So I'm zooming you from there.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. Well, we'll see you in a couple weeks. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for joining. I don't think I missed any questions here. Safe travels, Chrissy says, or Christina says. Thank you. Oh, to me. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies. We will chat. I'll be back next week. Okay. Bye for now.